I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.
Welcome to this
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that. Spitting slow, spitting fast, I can roast, I can gas. Think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past and the pettiness. A reflection of the emptiness, hilarious. You think you're worth my time, you're delirious. Mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior. Inferior, you know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains at last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah.
And create
Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself.
So this folder is where we're going to keep
I don't
all
ever
our
slow
files.
up, no I don't
So
take
we're
shit.
going to
I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Gonna learn the consequence of being incompetent. Mental health is confidence, dreams into modestness. I'm not here to save the day, that's for you to take away. I could play a million mind games, but instead I say something not illogical, something that is topical. Rub it on and watch it go, make yourself unstoppable. Dreams are irresponsible, but they're always possible. If you just believe, you could be so remarkable.
Thoughts in my head, a collage and they spread. I'll be great one day, going off on my meds. No, I'm not giving up, no, I'm not giving in. I will make it to the top, taking off in the wind. I gotta make it, I'm saving every day to taste it. I'm patient, but my mind, it can hardly take it. I'm chasing a dream that I've had for several ages. A vacant, modern kingdom for the taking.
Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself.
As a select folder.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
So I will do that. Now I should see this index.html just under the structure folder. Now because our file is a HTML file, I can come here and just write HTML and hit on the tab key. The tab key is the key above your caps lock. So you can see we have the basic structure of HTML. We have the doc type declaration, the HTML opening tag, the HTML closing tag. We have the body tag opening and the body tag closing. So here we're going to say structure. Say structure of HTML. Now I'm going to right click and open in browser. So if I open it in browser, I am going to see structure of HTML as the title. You can see that here. So I'm just going to add that E. Right, so in the body tag I'm going to put a paragraph tag, so I'm just going to letter P and then press tab, and then here I'm going to write lorem and press tab. You can see just by typing the word lorem and pressing tab I get this dummy content. I am going to put H1 above it, H1, and press tab, so you can see I get the opening and the closing tag, and I'm just going to type structure of HTML. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to go to my browser and hit refresh. So you can see I have structure odd HTML. For some weird reason, don't know why I hit a D there, but it's okay. It's all good. It's all right. So we got it. So we have a H1 and a paragraph tag, right? So we continue our class. Now I'm just going to go to the next item on our list. You cannot change the display by adding extra spaces or extra lines in your HTML code. Your browser will automatically remove any extra line and any extra spaces and lines when the page is being displayed. So this is what we mean by that. You cannot do this, right? So if you do this, you expect to see some giant space in your work. Nope, you can't see that. It remains the same. It remains the same. So you can't just put in spaces by putting in spaces. For spaces, we'll discuss what you will use much later. So now we have something called the pre-formatted tag. Now in the pre-formatted tag, you can actually put spaces and it will recognize it just the way you put it. So I'm just going to copy this. So it's just a p tag and a pre tag, normal. So you have this is a paragraph tag and this is a pre-formatted tag. So in the pre-formatted tag, spaces are being maintained, and line breaks are also being maintained. But in the paragraph tag, it's not going to be maintained. So you can see, even though we hit enter here, enter, it's not going to be maintained because this is a paragraph tag. But in a pre-formatted tag, everything will be kept exactly just the way it is. So you can see that we have this is a paragraph tag, but this is the pre-formatted tag. So in the pre-formatted tag, I could come here and do something like this, and you can see it's maintained. But in the paragraph tag, that is not possible. So basically, aside from the pre-formatted tag, HTML will not respect your spaces. So this is the only tag that will respect spaces. So it's kind of a tag that people don't use all the time. Most of the time, people don't use it, to be frank and sincere. You rarely see that in an actual website, just in tutorials. That's where you see it. So I would just ignore that if I were you. So let's talk about style attributes. So you can actually give a HTML element a style attribute by just coming to the attribute section and saying style and then putting a property and then a value. So for example, we want the background to be blue. We can come and say background color power blue. So let's try that. So we would do body tag, right? So we'll say background. So we have to say style first. So style, background, color, power blue. Let's see. Is that how to spell power blue, or there's an underscore somewhere? Let's see. I think that's is it? Let's see. Powder blue. Okay. Powder blue. So you can see that we've got some kind of blue there. I hate this blue, so I'm just going to come here and say blue, just pure blue. Powder blue. No, don't want any powder blue. So you can see now we have just blue here. And I would say for all the color, I'm going to use white. So observe what I'm doing. I end this one with a semicolon and then I start another one and then I'll end it with a semicolon. So you can see. So you can just come here, say style, background, color, column, the property. This is the property, this is the value, semicolon, another property, column, another value, semicolon. So property, column, value, semicolon, property, column, value, semicolon. and then you put everything in this style attribute. So remember in the last class we said attributes, you can have attribute and then value. So this is the attribute and this is all the value, but each of these value is a property and value, property and value. So basically that's the whole thing there. So you can see now we have all the colors white. So let's continue our class. So you could set, you see someone set color attribute for all of those ones, and font family, font size. So let's play with some of these things. So let's set the color of this as yellow. So style, that's the name of the attribute. Now we're setting the value of the attribute. So we want to set a property name. Let's say color, and then let's set the property value. Let's say yellow, and then we put semicolon and to save that. And surely we should get the yellow color in the H1. So basically that's how you do it. Let's try the font family thing. Let's try the font family. I'm just going to copy it from here. I don't want to stress myself. So let's do some pasting right here. Ctrl V. So we have a font family of Verdana. So hopefully the font should be different. So you can see we have a different font here. It's much better. So let's continue with our class. So you could set font size and you could set all sorts of things. Now let's talk about text formatting. So let's say you want a bold text. You're going to have to use the B tags. So I just want to bold lorem ipsum. So I'm going to start my bold tag here, and after it says ipsum, I'm going to put the closing bold tag. So just like that, I saved, and I'm going to check. Every time I come and hit refresh, before I hit refresh, I put save. So you can see this is a little bit bolder than the remaining part of the text. It's bolder than the remaining part of the text. So we're going to try something else. Let's try italic. Italic. So let's try italic and see. So that is italic. So you can see this is italic. Then you can have a big tag and a small tag. So strong is basically like bold, emphasis is like italic. You understand? So we should try a small tag and a big tag. So let's try a big and a small. So this is going to be big, and big. Let's just close the big, and then let's try small, and let's close the small right here. So let's check it out. So these are big tag and these are small tag. You can see our small tag makes the font smaller than this other side. Let me zoom this in. So you can see we have lorem, bold, italic, big, small, and then the normal font, right? So that's it. The difference is so subtle you might not see it well, but it's okay. So let's try the mark, and let's try underline. Let's try mark, let's try underline, let's try delete, let's try soup and sub. So let's try soup and sub first. I want to come here and write x 10 and square. So I'm going to say x here. This will be a subscript, right? So and the 2 would be a superscript. So I'm going to put soup, and yes, so we have x subscript 10 superscript 2. So superscript is like where you want to raise something to a power of something, and then subscript maybe we want to say base something and stuff like that. So let's try that. You can see we have the 10 coming down and the superscript going up. You see, so that's how you handle that. So let's try the delete and the mark. So let's say we want to delete this HTML. So we're going to do del, right? So del. So let's try that. So you can see we have del all around the HTML. Sorry, we didn't close it. So that's it. And then let's say we want to mark maybe from here. So let's do mark. I would make, not make, dude. It's mark. So let's just close it. So we close it, and then we see what is showing there. So you can see that's a marked part of this the paragraph. So we've basically done all of this. We've done sub, we've done superscript, we've done all sorts of things, and that's how to do text formatting in HTML. So let's look at some other things. So here we have block quotes, we have paragraphs, we have quotes, we have abbreviations, addresses, cite, and bidirectional override. So to save us some time, these are not tags we use every day, to be frank and sincere. These are not tags that you use every day, but let's just let's copy all of them in. Let's copy all of them in and just see how all of them behave at once, all at once, and then we'll just explain it. So we're going to just copy it in and then see how all of them behave. So you can see here is a quote from so and so, right? Here is a quote from so and so, and then we put that quote in a block quote, right? And then we say that it's a site from www.whitecreativity.com, and then we use this Q here. So YCE's goal is we should see a quotation mark around that. So let's see. YCE goals is so this Q, that Q tag is what is bringing in this quotation, right? That Q tag is what is bringing in this quotation, right? And then I think we have a title tag here, so you can see this is an abbreviation, and the abbreviation has a title. You can see it. So we have the title. Once you give anything an attribute of title, if you point at it and you keep it there, you should get the name, the full name on it. So for example, let's put a title here, title attribute on this HTML. So let's try putting a title on the HTML. So we have this whole HTML thing here and it's deleted. So we'll say title is hypertext markup language. So let's just check that out. We'll save it, we'll refresh it, and you can see hypertext markup language, just because we have that title tag there. So if you are doing abbreviations, like this, you can have like a title attribute, right? And then it will show the full meaning. So this is an address tag, this is another site tag, and then we have bidirectional override, which basically reverses things depending on, you can do left to right or right to left, but this time around we're doing right to left, so we expect TFELOT like that. So BDO means bidirectional override, and so we're going to look at the way the bidirectional override is showing. So you see T like that, like that, like that, like that, like that. So basically reverses something from left to right. So we have a code tag, a site tag. You can see that this is the site, and all of that, and all of that, and all of that. So these are some of the basic editing tags of HTML. You can play with them, watch the video twice, and we will see. And let's close, I guess. So that's the end. Thank you for watching. See you in class 3.